This video series is brought to you by the ASU Writing Center within the Academic Support Network. Thank you for joining me as we discuss Part 4 of APA Citation. This video, our last in the series, will discuss reference lists. Let's get started. As we discuss reference lists in this video, we will discuss different elements for each citation. We want to provide you with some information for locating the reference information. For a typical journal article, this figure helps show where you can find those pieces of information. You'll see listed here the title, the date, the author, and the source. These are the four major elements for all APA references. APA reference lists do come with formatting guidelines. The reference page is the start of a new section and should have a level 1 heading, meaning it is centered and bolded. All lines after the first line of each entry in your reference list should be indented 1/2 inch from the left margin. This is called a hanging indentation. Please note that word processors have a setting for this built in. We recommend that you use this setting instead of trying to create the indentation yourself. Each APA reference is broken into 4 elements: the author element, the date element, the title element, and the source element. We will be going through each of these 4 elements in detail to discuss where you can find the information and how it should be formatted. For the author element, you will need to invert all author names, providing the surname first, followed by a comma and the initials. For example, author, A. A. You will use a comma to separate an author's initials from additional author names. For example, author, A. A. Comma, and author, A. B. You will use a comma to separate initials and suffixes such as junior or third. And we have a quick note about group authors. This can include government agencies, associations, nonprofit organizations, businesses, hospitals, task forces, and study groups. You will use a group author when there is no individual name and the work was drafted by an agency or a larger association. For example, the National Institute of Mental Health. If the author is unknown or cannot reasonably be identified, you will move the title to the author position followed by a period. For more information about how to handle this in-text citation, please refer to our previous video. Note, you will only list the author as anonymous when they are specifically identified as so on the source. For the date element, this refers to the date of publication. This can include the year only, the year, month, and day, the year and month, the year and season, or a range of dates. As far as retrieval dates go, most sources in APA do not require a retrieval date. Some sources are expected to change over time, for example, a dictionary entry without archive definitions or a social media profile. These sources may require retrieval dates. If it does require a retrieval date, it will be included before the URL. If you aren't sure if you'll need a retrieval date, please check examples of other APA citations of the same source. If publication dates are unknown or cannot be determined, you'll use the abbreviation ND for no date. For example, in a reference, you would list ND after the author name. All dates go within parentheses with a period at the end. In an in-text citation, you would still list ND as the date. For the title element, this can be divided into 2 broad categories: works that stand alone or works that are part of a larger whole. Works that stand alone are books, reports, dissertations and theses, datasets, videos, films, TV series, podcasts, social media, and works on websites. The title of the standalone work is what is included in the title element for the reference. These titles will not be italicized or enclosed in quotation marks. Only the first word of the title and subtitle will be capitalized. For works that are part of a larger whole, for example, periodical articles, edited book chapters, and TV podcasts or episodes, the title of the article, chapter, or episode is what is included in the title element for that reference. The title of the greater whole will be included later. The title of the article, chapter, or episode will be italicized. Only the first word of the title and subtitle will be capitalized. For the source element, the source indicates where readers can retrieve the cited work. There are many different kinds of sources, and each has different rules and formats. When in doubt, you should check the guidelines in the APA publication manual. For sources that stand alone, the source is the publisher, database, social media site, or website, and any applicable DOI or URL. For sources that are part of a larger whole, the source is that larger whole and any applicable DOI or URL. For DOIs and URLs, you will need to present both as hyperlinks. They will need to begin with http:// or https://. You do not need to include the words retrieved from or accessed from with a DOI or URL. And DOI should be formatted as follows: https://doi.org/ then the DOI number. Missing a source element is one of the few times a source may not be included in your reference list because it prevents readers from being able to find the source. Let's cover some common sources. Periodicals like a journal, a magazine, a newspaper, a newsletter, or a blog are common in research. When you use this as a source element, you will need to provide the title, the volume number, the issue number, and a page range or article number. For example, Psychology of Popular Media Culture, 5, parenthesis 2, close parenthesis, pages 101 to 118. If the periodical's official title includes an abbreviation, you will reproduce that title in the reference. For example, PLOS 1. Italicize the volume number, but not the issue number. The issue number will go after the volume number inside parentheses. The page number will follow the volume and issue number, and you will include the DOI or URL as applicable. If you cannot find a volume, issue, and/or page numbers or article numbers for your periodical, they can be omitted. This is more common for online periodicals. When citing an edited book chapter, they often have editors, and you'll need to include these before the title of the book. Note, this is after you include the title of the source, the chapter of the book. For example, in the following source, we can see that we have first listed the author of the chapter, the date it was published, and the title of that chapter. Then, highlighted in yellow, we can see the editors listed, and then the name of the larger book in which this was published. We include that it is a 4th edition and the pages at which it can be found. Routledge here is the publisher of the book. For websites, you will need to provide the website name in title case without italics. For example, if you pulled something from BBC News, the website name is BBC News. Include a period after the name followed by the URL. If the author of the work is the same as the website name, you will omit the site name to avoid repetition. In that case, the source element would only consist of the URL. For example, in the source below, you can see that the World Health Organization is considered a group author for this source. We've included the date and the name of the article. Then we include the URL to the source. We do not include World Health Organization, the title of the website, again, because they are also the author of this webpage. This table from the APA publication manual details missing elements in a reference list entry and what you should do if you cannot find this information. And these are the references that we used when compiling this video. Our online study hub is a great place to post questions about this video and get a tutor or peer response if you have any questions about APA references. To see an example of common references cited in APA format, you can visit the online study hub to find a handout with different references broken down into their different elements. Thank you for joining us to discuss reference lists, and we hope that you enjoyed our Spotlight series on APA citation. If you would like to review any concepts about APA citation, we invite you to visit the online study hub to see the entire series. We hope you can join us next month for our Spotlight series on MLA citations. Thank you.